Hey cats, it's Ed Parkrun Bud here. Another weekend, another local parkrun. This time we were headed to Weymouth Beach. How did I fare? Stay tuned. Thanks for joining me once again, guys. It's always appreciated. If you've yet to do so, hit that subscribe button and also click the bell below for notifications and when I launch those new videos for you. For a long period of time, several of the viewers try to get the first comment and it's getting pretty competitive now. Cheeks to 777 though is the king. I can't remember how many gold first comments that Cheeks to 777's got. Shout out to you, buddy. I like a good parkrun, guys, on a Saturday morning. Crisp and fresh. A good timed test of the pace with a little competitive spice added in. Weymouth's a place of good memories for me, and I always enjoy heading over there. The course itself at the moment is the alternative Weymouth Parkrun route. I think they switch it up when the winter months come in. This one is completely made up of tarmac paths and some concrete slabs. There's no mud, grass or hazards that you've got to navigate. A nice simple one. Aside from a small 50-yard section that they had to divert some of the runners on today, it's part of the beach actually, some shingle and some stones. It's pretty hard to run at pace on those, I've got to be honest. I don't want to do that again. The course starts out heading east towards Overcombe, then doubles back along the seafront past some of the little chalets and stuff. There weren't many people there at the moment though. Bit chilly for that. You go along the shoreline and right across to sort of the midpoint really of Weymouth Beach. There's a big large clock there. You kind of double back then to the finish. When you live in a town, it's quite odd when you go to the seaside just sort of running along. You feel the urge to go and buy yourself an ice cream, maybe some fish and chips and a nice satisfying can of Coke. The weather obviously has a real impact on this part run today. There was quite a nasty wind coming from the west across to the east, sort of whipping off the sea a little bit. Although the sea itself was actually relatively calm today. I resisted going in to have a little dip. I can heartily recommend this one if you're looking for something for a PB. A really great fast course, this one, with quite a wild wind today. I think it was about 18 miles per hour. If you had a nice calm day, then it would probably be an absolute winner. Obviously with the wind, sometimes it's with you and other times it's against you. I went for it for the majority of the first mile, and then the last half mile I had the wind with me again. So I pushed the pacer and opened the throttle up a little bit, knowing that that was a good opportunity. One of the more picturesque routes and venues out there. No cars, traffic, noise. People were getting out the way. I didn't have any major issues aside from one chap who was sort of coming the other way at one point and he did notice me. I mean, I was wearing a high visibility top. It's hard to miss me really. Sort of like a giraffe, legs sort of flailing, just sort of generally slightly grumpy. Moving time on the watch was 20 minutes 06, but parkrun has me down as 20:11, but I'm happy with that. Average pace of 6 minutes 31 seconds per mile today. Zero elevation for once. Don't think I can ever recall a run where it says zero. There's absolutely none at all. It's about 7 degrees C out there, although it said with the wind there was a bit of a chill factor down to about 3 degrees centigrade. I think 7 degrees is about 45 Fahrenheit. Really good to get a nice hard race effort under my belt. Notice cadence was up a little higher, 186 steps per minute, and a really nice strong finish as well. That's always been a problem for me with a 5k. That shows I'm adjusting the power levels just right, I think. I mean, people always say a 5k is going to be a flat out effort. I'm not entirely sure that's true. I think you can burn yourself out a little easy if you take the first and second miles too hard. And you want to finish like some sort of timed event with a nice strong effort at the end. Garmin 245 has me down at about 71% of that run in threshold zone, only creeping up above 160 beats per minute for a little bit. It's probably the last 4 minutes or so of the run. I decided to really go for it then. Well, I was kind of going for it before that, but you know, the next level of going for it. Thought it'd be interesting to take a look at the last 3 sort of timed 5k efforts that I've done and see if there's any progress there. A time trial back in January in the famous Penmill trading estate, you know, home to such wonders as Ready to Climb, the Yeovil Amateur Operatic Society, and Brian's Burger Bar. I keep meaning to stop there. I may do that if he's open tomorrow on the long run. I'll have a cup of tea or something and have a chat. 20 minutes 11 seconds that day, so the same as today. Then we had obviously Poundbury last weekend, 20 minutes 27. That's a lap course and a lot of turns there. A little bit more hilly as well. Of course, today was absolutely pan flat, 20 minutes 11. So am I making a bit of progress? I think so. Without the wind today, I think I would have just got under 20 minutes. Still not up to the performance back in July 2021. I had 1946 there. I remember that. We're in the next percent. Got out there really early when there was nobody about. And I got very lucky as well, because I think some people had opened a gate that isn't normally open, and I managed to sort of run straight through where the gate would be, rather than having to sort of slalom the entrance area. Looking at the stats there, it was about 1 minute that I was in my sort of anaerobic area within that run. So I think I'm still putting that handbrake on a little bit, but I'm certainly improving my top speed. It's getting back up to where it should be, and I think the pace range there is getting back to its former best. Shout out to Hugh. I did see him before the run. He did mention about whether I was going to use the streak fly. I think he'd enjoyed that video last week. I did use the Takumi Sen 8 today. There's not really any significant scientific approach to this. It was the shoe that was on my foot, and I just basically ran out of time when I got to the park run. I didn't have long after I'd paid for my parking ticket and got myself ready to just basically get straight over to the start line, a quick warm up and start. So yeah, maybe next time I'll use the street fly. I did have the street fly with me, but the Adidas Takumi Sen 8 did a great job today. It was a good match really for the concrete and tarmac paths of the parkrun route in Weymouth. There's a couple of areas with some odd camber where you're almost running on a slant, I suppose, on a bit of a slope, but the Continental rubber was grippy and assured. I really could have done with some thinner socks today, guys. The upper on this shoe is really hugging. I did go for some Adidas slightly thicker socks, but really did cause my little toe on my right foot to rub up against the upper. They really weren't too happy with being rammed into the side of the shoe for 3.1 miles. No major damage there though, it's absolutely fine. I just threw some other shoes on when I got home to do a bit of a warm down or cool down or whatever you want to call it. I really enjoyed the lightness of the shoe today, and on the flat terrain I think the 6mm drop, which is a little less aggressive than I prefer, really helped enable me to concentrate a little bit more on my foot landing and the angle as well of attack. It's a kind of shoe that urges you to take shorter strides and to really up the cadence as well. I think if that's the type of runner you are, the Takumi Sen 8 could really work for you. I think the higher drop in the Metaspeed Sky and also the Vaporfly 4% that I wore a few weeks back tempt me a little bit to increase my stride length. I think because the foam's just so compressive there, this one forces you a little bit to focus on your cadence and increase that rather than the stride length. No complaints with the shoe today though. A good hard effort and the pace is coming back. Good to be running with people as well. I think that's a really good motivator. So 11th place out of 280 people, and second in my age group as well. I don't know if I've ever managed to achieve that before. Age grading as well, which you get with your parkrun results, is the highest it's ever been at 68.6 or something now. So it's about 1% higher than it was last week. Have you been park running today, people? Let me know in the comments down below. Quick shout to Simon as well. I think he came in just behind me at the park run. Hope you had an enjoyable weekend. Good to meet you. May give the street fly a go at the next park run, but where will it be? Musical interlude for you. I've rewound time a little bit listening to UK hip-hop artist Derek B. Famous, I think everyone knows Derek B is a bad young brother. What a great tune. I remember I had about 3 copies of that. There was a really cool remix version with Derek B stood in front of his turntables. I think that's the moment actually that made me want to get some SL 1200s. That was it. His album Bullet from the Gun really is a sort of rewind back to how hip-hop was then in the, late 80s, early 90s. I really like the tracks All City and Rock the Beat. This is in a time where people started experimenting with sampling, chopping up breakbeats, use them in a slightly different way, rather than rolling out the same 4-beat break over and over. It's quite refreshing to hear that. They seem to mix Derek B's vocals a little bit higher, so you could actually hear what he was saying, which is a refreshing change. Don't really get that these days, do you? They just bury it in loads of reverb and delay and stuff, and you can't hear anything.
Oh, it was better in my day. Bye.
I really like the funky vibes on Good Groove. There's some nice little guitars in the background there. Overall, a real picture from the past, but it was quite exciting and fun to go back. Not ever sure I had this album. I don't think I had enough cash to buy it at the time. CDs were a bit of a luxury, and I don't recall ever seeing Derek B's album anywhere in my record stores. If you're into that old school hip hop, especially from the UK, go and check it out. Bullet from a Gun by Derek B. Thanks for tuning in and sticking with me to the end of today's video, guys. Always appreciated. If you haven't done so yet, please help the channel out by picking up some merchandise and joining our members scheme in the links below. Hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up, like, and share it with your running buddies. My name's Ed Bud, and I'll be seeing you. Hey guys, so I just made it out to the Weymouth Parkrun with minutes to spare. Hardest part was actually paying for the parking ticket, which I had to use the app because I just don't seem to have any actual money anymore. So it's definitely one of the more scenic routes here. I imagine if there's no wind it'd be nice and quick as well. So I think it's about 20 minutes 10 maybe, something like that. So yeah, we're quite happy with that. It's nice just to be here by the sea. Although bear in mind I'm wearing 2 t-shirts and some gloves, thermal underwear, you know, all that sort of stuff. But it is pretty beautiful. I mean, I could quite happily live like this. But it costs about double to live here than it does where I am. So yeah, I enjoyed that Weymouth Parkrun. Alright, let's get going. If you are going to do this one after the first double back, I think with this one it's all about the wind. If the wind isn't too bad, quite calm, you should be fine. Although I did have the wind assistance on the last sort of 0.75 a mile, last sort of 3/4 of a mile, which did help out quite a lot. And I guess the danger is that you go off too hard. On the first section you're feeling really good, you just blast it as hard as you can, and then you're going to come a cropper. But it is a beautiful place. It did remind me when I did the Weymouth Bay 10k a few years back. Very enjoyable race.